Shalom. Shalom, sister. Another Israelite queen is making it out of Babylon. Oh my gosh, and it's dark. Praise AHAYAH. Hi, sister. How are you? How was it?
It was good. It was my first flight, but it was good.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Shalom.
Shalom. She's all soft and quiet. Spoken. Shalom, sister.
Hey.
So introduce yourself. Come on.
All right. I'm Achwath, Rapah,
Uh-huh.
I just made it out of Babylon. Praise AHAYAH.
Praise AHAYAH.
It was a good trip. It was my first flight, but it was good. It wasn't too long. It wasn't too bad.
Okay.
Praise
Praise AHAYAH. Bless you, sister. Bless you. So she came in a car all the way from the airport, a 3-hour drive. And so we're so happy and blessed that you are here. This is Sister Kana and Sister Kana too. And Kayel is here. See Kayel. It's dark, so it's hard for us to see. But the sister made it, so we're going to say bless you. We're preparing a meal. And yeah, we'll see. We'll get it. Okay. So Kwam Yasha Allah, another Israelite queen, has made it. Yes.
It's beautiful.
Get out of Babylon. Listen, did you see the view? Because it got dark, but you was able to see the mountains and stuff like that. It's really nice. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. Hold on. Okay. I have to sign out, guys. See you later. Bye.
Shalom, Israel. This is Sister Rapah. And right now we're on our rooftop in the mountains somewhere in Jordan. What we're going to show you today is the garden that we've begun. Alright, so right now it's coming in the midday. I have to water my plants, and so I just thought I'd bring you guys along. Okay? So, just to explain to you guys what's going on here, there's a variety of different things here in this planter. For instance, there's peas, there's bush beans, there's corn sprouts, these are cucumber sprouts, this is a beet sprout, there's some more corn sprouts, okra sprouts, and everything hasn't particularly come up yet, okay? And in this planter here, this is what I like to call our medicines, or rather our herbs, okay? These are things that the Most High gave us to naturally heal ourselves. Now, when the pharmaceutical company comes in, what they do is they take chemicals to replicate what these natural herbs do. And you know nothing about this, but the Most High said that He gave us plants for meat and also to heal ourselves. And so there's specific varieties in here, about 30-some varieties that do all kinds of things, from toothaches to headaches to kidney stones to blood purification to diabetes to antioxidants to anti-cancer components, a variety of different things that's going to help us in the wilderness. And just the same as that red pot over there, the red pot is the second half of the medicines. Okay. Now, if you can come in a little bit closer so they can see the stages. These are the beginning stages. These are just sprouts. These haven't been down but for not even a week yet, okay? And so this is the very beginning. What happens is I take this soil and I mix in there a compost, an organic compost. It's actually chicken poop. Okay, we raise our own chickens. And so I mix the compost to get the soil very nutrient rich. We water it down and then we plant. Alright? So, next over here. Next, we have a bean variety. In our household, we eat a lot of beans, okay? And so here we have a bean variety. These were planted on the 26th of April. And so you can see the progress coming up here. And there's all different kinds. You have lentils, snaps, lima beans, some more bush beans, some more peas, just a variety of things. And the number that's in here actually hasn't even come up yet. This is maybe a fifth of what's planted in here. Bush beans actually particularly don't mind being crowded. As long as you keep the soil nutrient rich and feed them, they'll actually do okay. It's not much competition, so they like to be crowded because the leaves provide shade to the roots. And the more sun that hits the dirt, basically, the more nutrients that are pulled out of it. So the shade, the leaves being crowded in here, shade in the dirt actually benefits the plants being crowded together. All right. So in here, this is more so of an experiment. This is actually a pot of carrots. Okay. And although the carrots will be crowded in here, it's just an experiment to see how many will come up. Okay. So this was actually planted on the 26th. They haven't come out yet, and so I'm just seeing how many we can actually get out of this tight space. Hopefully we can get about 8 to 12. 12 is really pushing it, because if you put too much fertilizer in here, nitrogen-rich fertilizer, it'll cause the carrots to fort. But at the end of the day, this is for a survival situation. And so once a carrot is cut, it doesn't particularly matter how it looks, in my opinion. When it's cut, it's going to look like a carrot. This pot we have here is the beginning stages of some more okra. As you can see, this one sprouted first, but if you look carefully here, we have some more coming up. Alright, so I put 3 in one pot to increase the likelihood of the plants actually sprouting, and the strongest one will be the one that's kept, and the other 2 will be pruned off. Here in these 2 planters, we have red onions planted. Now these were planted, one on the 27th of last month and one on the 1st of this month. Neither of the 2 have come up yet. It's going to take a little bit longer. With red onions, a specific variety that I have, it could take between 7 to 21 days. Now with all of these plants that I'm growing, these are all organic plants, non-GMO. Okay, we're getting away from the poisons that they give us in the state. So none of these have been chemically altered to be disease resistant, to grow faster, stronger, longer, none of that, okay? So these are the most sensitive kind of seeds that you can actually have, and you have to know what you're doing in order to have these things produced. Alright. Over here, these are particularly my babies. Everybody has a favorite thing they like to grow. These are actually corn plants, sweet corn plants. And I have 3 in this one pot and 2 in this one pot. And if you look carefully, there's a small pepper plant in this pot here. Now the reason I grew peppers with corn, because corn is a very special plant. It tends to strip all the nutrients out of the soil. And so they have what they call a trinity, for lack of better words, where you can grow corn, peppers, melons, or corn, squash, melons, things like that, or corn, beans, and melons, because they all work together. For instance, corn strips the dirt very, very badly of all its nutrients, okay? But beans put a lot of nitrogen and nutrients back into the soil for the corn. And then when you come with the melons or the cucumbers, a vine-growing plant, what it does is it shades the dirt to keep the nutrients in there. So they all work together to keep the soil highly growable, okay? All those plants you saw prior were grown in the soil I bought from a planting store. This is actually grown in the clay dirt here from the desert. All right. So here we have a row. These are all watermelons. These watermelon plants are about 2 weeks old. As you can see, when a plant comes up, they first develop with these 2 leaves here. The leaves that come out prior, like this and this here, are actually called the true leaves. Now, for those who don't know, watermelons are they're a vine plant. So what they're going to do is they're going to grow roots very, very deep, and they're going to vine. It's going to be almost uncontrollable. The vine can be anywhere from 5 feet to as long as 8 to 9 to 12 feet sometimes, depending on how nutrient rich your soil is or how much you feed the soil. Okay? Now, if you look at this, since we're going organic and we're trying to recycle and we're preparing to go to the wilderness, we want to make use of everything that we have. So this is a mixture of some soil that I have and some leftovers from the house. What we're doing is we're making an organic compost. Instead of throwing away our vegetables and fruit scraps and our bread scraps, we're taking them and we're letting them decompose and break down to make more soil for the projects that I do, instead of me having to buy soil, or rather even use the desert soil that has no nutrients whatsoever. So what this is, we have banana peels, apples, oranges, flatbread, peppers, cucumbers, eggshells, all sorts of things. And what we do is we keep it moist. We rotate it about once a week, and it's going to take the better part of 2 months for it to completely decompose. But after it completely decomposes, it's going to be one of the most nutrient-rich soils that you can get from anywhere. It's going to be so nutrient-rich you couldn't even find that same quality in the store. And this is from just the things that the Most High has given us. So we're trying to make use of everything that we have. If you step over here, this middle section here, not including this plant here, but this middle section here, these are all trees that I've started from seed. Now these are actually lemon trees, each from seed in different stages, okay? This one we began on 4/30, okay? And it's sprouting now, what's today, the 2nd? The 3rd. So this was began on the 30th of April, and we have it up now. All of these trees are in different stages. For instance, this one's growing strong very well. Same thing with this one. But if you look at the difference, in this is the soil from the desert, and this is soil that I bought. The leaves on this one are more established. The stem is thicker, and it's doing much better as opposed to the ones that's here in this desert soil. You can tell the difference of the quality of the plant by the nutrients in the soil. So this is just to illustrate a point to you. Now, none of this stuff today has been watered. Now, to show you something that's in a slightly different stage. This is the same kind of plant. This is a lemon tree. However, it hasn't emerged like the plant that I've shown you. And before that, to see how it kind of grows, you can look at this one. This is the plant actually coming out of the seed. Now, what I did is I germinated these seeds before I planted them to give them a better chance of growing. And if you have questions on germination, we can do another video at another time. Now, the ones that haven't emerged, like these, or this one, they're just in a different part. So it's just to kind of illustrate to you the different stages of the plant. But if you move this soil back, you'll be able to see the plant growing underneath it. So we'll just cover that back up. Now, as you can tell, these are all bottles from drinks or water containers and things that we buy because we want to make use of every single resource that we have here. We didn't come here to make other nations rich. We came here to put money back into our people and to build our nation. So I use things lying around the house that would be virtually or utterly garbage and make them useful to me. And this is how I build my part of the ministry. The Most High says that your gift will make room for you. And this is the space and the area that I love to delve in. This is something the Most High told me to do. Before I arrived here, he instructed me what to get and what qualities to get and how much of it to get. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm growing food. And this is a test run to see how much food I can actually produce for the amount of people in our specific part of our camp. Okay, and what we lack is going to let me know how much more to grow up in that area. So, these plants here, none of these have sprouted yet. But in here is a purple cayenne pepper. Yeah, it's not ready to sprout yet. This is a purple cayenne pepper. This is going to be a pineapple plant. We're growing pineapples as well. This is going to be a devil yellow pepper. This will be a habanero pepper. And this is another pineapple plant. Now, for those of you who don't know what this is one of my more favorite plants as well. This is an asparagus plant. Now, asparagus plant is considered a perennial, meaning it'll grow back year after year after year. So, all these plants that you see in these containers, don't get me wrong. Ideally, I would love to keep them in a container to keep the growth situation contained and under my control. But when we transition to the wilderness, these things will be down in the ground. And so, for instance, for this plant, this has to go down in the ground because it's going to send a root down between a foot and 2 feet. And this is what's going to ensure that it comes back up year after year. This is one of those crops you don't have to replant. It will come back year after year after year. And I particularly love this because from this one plant, it's going to produce me 5 to 6 more plants. And I love asparagus, so this makes me very happy. Okay. Now, as you can see, some of the beds I have down here haven't sprouted yet, and that's more than fine. Some things take longer than others. So I mentioned the first bed down there was watermelon. This bed here is a honeydew melon. This bed here is a banana melon. Some of you may have never heard of a banana melon. These are banana melons here. So you have honeydew melons, banana melons. Down at the end we have watermelons. You know Israel loves melons just like we love fried chicken. This particular bed here, I'm growing for a sister of mine. Okay. As you can see here, we have a mixture. This is actually a garlic plant. And these plants here, these are actually bull's blood beets. Okay, my sister here, she has low iron, and so beets are very good for her. So we're going for some organic beets. Okay? Now, this darling here is a very special orange tree. This orange tree actually produces oranges that are sweeter than the oranges in the States and gets about the size of a 4-year-old's head, about this big. I think they're called bromo oranges. And now if you look carefully, the plant is actually fruiting. So we'll actually have oranges off of this. And there's a couple of different areas where the plant is fruiting. You can see this here. Okay. Now, last but not least, we have a couple of things going on here. This is just what I love to do. So here, we have a grapevine, okay, in the very base stages. Now this is a very special grapevine because it's actually a mix between red grape and black grape. So this is going to be a hybrid grape. But you know, the Most High said that we'll have grapes that'll give you what, I can't even remember how many gallons, but huge grapes in the wilderness. And so I'm excited to be growing this and get this planted out there at our camp just to see the Most High's prophecy come to fruition. Now, over here, we actually have 2 4-month-old almond trees. Now the significance of these almond trees is that we actually have a sister here that knows how to make almond milk. And for people who are like me, my body doesn't particularly like dairy anymore. And so a non-dairy alternative to have my milk and my cheese and my cream is always good. And if you've ever had naturally made almond milk, you know how much better that is than having regular dairy milk. Now both of these trees are 4 months old. They won't begin producing until they're 5 years old. But we're going to raise these up and grow them. And when they come to producing full harvest and maturity, as by the days the Bible tells us that we're supposed to pick our trees and things like that, that's when we'll enjoy these things. But we're bringing forth things from the beginning, okay, so we can know the quality and we know what's put in there. Because when we allow people to do the thinking for us and simplify for us, it's when they attempt to get over on us. So I've enjoyed talking with you guys. Now it's time for me to water my plants so you guys can see how that goes down. And we'll be back to update you guys. These are just some of the things that we have going on here in the GOCC Jordan. This is what I love to do. We have other people here that their gifts have made room for them too. And this is just what I want to take care of. I want to feed my people. I want us to make it to where we don't have to rely on other nations and go to their stores. This is part of the curses that we have, going to their stores and paying their money. And you know, eventually when the money crashes in Babylon, it'll take barrels of money to buy a loaf of bread. So we're going to simplify that for everybody, and I'm going to produce food for everybody. We're going to store our food away, and we're going to live right according to the Most High in the wilderness. So, this is just the regular local water that I give my plants. It's not good for our drinking, but it is very good for our plants. And it doesn't take much, because if you notice, we're in the heat of the day, and the majority of this water will be evaporated off. So the plants here actually get watered twice a day. Usually a couple of hours before the sun goes out, or comes out. And then when the sun sets, so that the plants have enough to drink at night. And it doesn't take much to water your plants. Some of these beds I'm not watering because they have water stored underneath them in the reservoirs. Some of these beds get more than others. Of course, our baby trees need water. Oh, I didn't speak about this plant. This plant here is actually a tomato plant. It hasn't come forth yet. We're still waiting on it. But that's a special tomato. It's actually called a mortgage with the potato. Tomato. It actually grows 2-pound tomatoes on it. And the reason I keep stumbling about potatoes is because we actually have some potatoes here. And what I do is I leave them in the sun. The potatoes here don't necessarily sprout like they do in the States. These can sit in the dark just in a drawer for over a month and won't have a single sprout if you've ever seen potatoes sprout in a bag. So a trick to sprouting potatoes is to actually leave them in the sun for about 2 to 4 weeks and they'll begin growing sprouts. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a potato project as well and grow a barrel of potatoes. Now things like corn, there's certain plants that don't like full sun like what we have here now. And so my corn actually gets moved out of the sunlight into the shade once or twice a day. I maneuver between full sun and shade. carrots in here before we drink. Oh, we have a little sprout here. Right here. It's always nice. Ugh, where'd he go? Is he on my back?
Nope.
Well, as we can see, we have some pollinators out here doing their job, so that's more than great. So last thing we do is we put some water on the compost pile. With the compost, it has to have some moisture to keep the process going. And so the last bit of water, not to waste, but it's not drinkable water. We just add to the compost pile and let nature do its job. So this is Sister Rapah with the GOCC Jordan. I'm glad you guys took time to step in and see what I love to do for the Most High. And may Most High be with you. Bless you. Signing out.